So this leper comes to Jesus with his brokenness. He comes boldly, he comes humbly, and he experiences something miraculous. In Mark's account of this encounter, it notes that Jesus looked at this man, not with disgust or indifference or repulsion. His heart went out to him. It says he was filled with pity and with compassion for this man and his broken state. And notice Jesus' response to this leper's request. Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. Don't miss the fact Jesus could have healed this man any number of ways. He could have just spoken a word and it was done, but he intentionally chose to touch him. This man who had been reviled, who hadn't felt an embrace or a touch of another person for who knows how many years, he reaches out, probably to the shock of the crowd, against the ceremonial protocol of the law, the norms of society, in this gesture of physical affection. Jesus meets him in an incredibly personal way, at the very point of his deepest pain and his deepest lack. And like that, the man's clean. The leprosy is gone. The sores and the lesions on his skin have disappeared. His skin is made fresh again. His sense of touch is restored. And what we're witnessing here, what the crowd was witnessing, is earth-shattering. Because the way things had always been up to this point was when the clean touched the clean became defiled. But when the unclean man touches or is touched by Jesus, it's turned upside down. The unclean is made clean because a greater power had shown up. Jesus was reversing the curse because he wasn't just a rabbi, he wasn't just a miracle worker, he was God in the flesh. And now this is a real event. It's not a parable or an allegory. But the thing that's amazing about Scripture is so often real events can paint us pictures of greater truths. And throughout the Bible, leprosy is so often a picture, an illustration of sin, of our rejection of God and his ways and how it impacts our lives. It starts below the surface, but eventually it spreads, it affects and impacts every aspect of our lives. It fractures and destroys our relationships, first with God and also with others. It leaves us isolated. Over time, it can make us blind. It can cause us to lose sensitivity, become numb to our own spiritual bankruptcy and our need for God, numb to the brokenness in the lives around us. And there's no cure to the sin problem we can find on our own. Eventually, it leads to death. It's a bleak prognosis, but for the grace of God. Because all it takes for us to be completely healed and completely